Hey everybody, in 2020 we moved across the country and we love where we wound up. In 2010 I had finally had enough of the great state of California. I knew I wanted out, but I didn't know where to go. I did a bunch of research on areas to retire both here in the United States and around the world. I was looking at affordability, the weather, cost of living, how safe it was, taxes, proximity to airports, beaches, and fishing. All the things that I love. After years of research and actually living in Guatemala and Belize for 2 years, I knew I wanted to have a domicile in the United States. We started looking for a place to live here in the United States that would allow us to travel to other parts of the world for 6 months here and 6 months there. Where we thought we were going to live and where we ended up was two different places. That's what we're going to go over next. Almost 12 years of thinking about where to move ended in 2020. I had read a bunch of articles from International Living and even started to get residency in Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica and Guatemala. The 6 months we lived in Belize was amazing. Mexico is a fantastic country and we love the people there. Medellin Colombia is wonderful, but sometimes it feels safe and other times it's not so safe. My experience is that the medical and dental care are way better and way more affordable everywhere else than here in the United States. One of the top priorities was to pay less taxes and especially taxes to the state. The states with no income taxes are Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. I didn't want to live in the snow, but for a short time I considered a South Dakota mailbox. A lot of RVers do that, domicile in South Dakota and travel around in Canada and Mexico and the United States. I almost moved to Nevada. The Nevada side of the South Lake Tahoe is beautiful, but it's a little expensive. I checked out Texas prior to 2010 and ruled it out because I didn't like the look. Austin was beautiful. I went down to Corpus Christi expecting a lush paradise. I was disappointed by the lack of trees, and I started looking at Florida. In the decade of the 2000s, I went there many times for boat and air shows. In 2010, I took the family to Disney World and took a Caribbean cruise out of Port Canaveral. What I really hated about Florida was that it felt very hot and my shirt was always sticking to me. It's hot and humid for 8 months of the year in Central Florida. You have to have air conditioning in Lakeland and Orlando. Another negative of Florida is it's flat. No mountains. I grew up in the mountains and I love them. I really miss the mountains. The alligators and sharks didn't bother me too much. Statistically, they're not an issue. Hurricanes and rain-band tornadoes are a huge concern. I don't have enough experience to know how dangerous they really are. One thing Florida is known for is its fantastic fishing. Florida is a fisherman's paradise. Offshore, nearshore, river, lake, pond. It's a great place for fishing. Sport flying is big in Florida. I went to Lakeland, Florida many times in the 2000s to go to the Sun and Fun Air Show. I bought 2 airplanes from Florida. Fort Lauderdale is a yachting capital of the world. I traveled to Florida several times looking for a sailboat to sail the Caribbean in. I wound up buying a 38-foot sailboat in Guatemala in 2013, and I lived and sailed on her for 2 years. That was the best 2 years of my life. It's also the reason I wanted to domicile in the United States. It's very difficult to make a living in Central and South America. After thinking about all the times I kept flying to Florida, I decided to seriously think about selling my stuff and moving there. Florida is a large state. Where were we going to live? Central Florida was out. It's too hot and humid in the summer. The Panhandle was out because of my fear of hurricanes. I left northern Florida open, but it gets pretty cold in the winter. One of the main criteria was to live close to an international airport because I want to do extensive international travel. To me, that meant Miami International Airport or Fort Lauderdale International Airport. We had never been to the Tampa area, so I needed to check it out. Orlando was tempting, but it would be like living in Sacramento. Everything I love, beaches, fishing, and sailing, would be an hour's drive away. Plus, it's too hot and humid in the summer. I started really zeroing in on the Fort Lauderdale area. In 2017, I bought a plane ticket to Florida, and Joanna and I toured Florida for 2 weeks, visiting all the areas that we had ruled out. I finally got to visit Tampa and all the cities south. Tampa, what a beautiful area. Clearwater and St. Petersburg were really nice. Siesta Key has one of the most beautiful beaches anywhere. Joanna loves the Amish people in Sarasota. I was seriously thinking about Cape Coral and Fort Myers for a while. We really liked out Punta Gorda. Naples is very nice. The west coast of Florida seems to be settled by the Midwesterners and the southeast coast by New Englanders and people from the Caribbean. I think that I would have been very happy settling down in the Tampa area. The big reason we went to the East Coast is because the East Coast is cooler in the summertime than the West Coast. And I think there'll be more hurricanes on the West Coast. So we drove across the state to Miami, then south to the Keys. I didn't want to live in the Florida Keys for a bunch of reasons, but I considered South Miami. We looked at Homestead and Coral Gables areas before we started driving north to Fort Lauderdale. We looked at Hollywood, Pembroke Pines, Davie, and Weston. I really liked Lauderdale by the sea, but it was pretty expensive. Today, looking at direct international flights, the Miami International Airport wins for prices and the number of destinations. There was a job opportunity for me at a mortgage company in West Palm Beach in 2017. West Palm Beach is about an hour to Fort Lauderdale Airport. The area has incredible fishing. It's congested, but less congested than the Fort Lauderdale and the Miami area. This area checked all the boxes. If I would have been hired there in 2017, that's where we'd be living now. Fast forward to 2020. We finally started our move to Florida in February of 2020. The pandemic was not yet a problem. To do the move, we purchased a 36-foot Class A motorhome. We sold everything that wouldn't fit. We left a lot of stuff behind too, and in retrospect, we should have gotten rid of more of our stuff. We headed for an RV park in the Fort Lauderdale area. After doing hundreds of hours of research, this is where I had planned to go. We really enjoyed our trip across the country. We visited my Uncle Jim in New Mexico, and we stayed with some friends in South Texas. We crossed the border at Mobile, Alabama, into Spanish Fort, Florida. Since we had never been to the Panhandle of Florida, we took our time. Moving by motorhome is a great way to find a place to live. You can check out an area and stay for a while or just keep going. The negatives of the Panhandle were that it was prone to hurricanes and colder in the winter. We continued down through central Florida, Lake City, Gainesville, and Ocala, then back down to Tampa. We took one more hard look at the west coast of Florida on our way to Fort Lauderdale. We drove across the state again and drove through Miami to the spot we chose to live just south of Fort Lauderdale Airport. When we arrived at the park that I had picked, I couldn't believe it. I was super disappointed. I knew we couldn't stay there. Also, the whole area was not suitable for us to put down roots. It checked all the boxes on paper, close to the beach, close to the airport, fishing, yachting, but it was just too darn congested, dirty, and run down. I was super glad we did the move in a motorhome. So we kept driving up the Florida East Coast. West Palm Beach was the upper limit to keep the Fort Lauderdale airport commute to 1 hour. We didn't find anything we liked. The area was just too congested. So we just kept driving north. The area north of Jupiter really started to look nice. We stopped in to say hi to Joe Rosen. He's a realtor in Port St. Lucie. He picked that area for his family to live, and he loves it. If you're going to live anywhere close to Port St. Lucie, give Joe a call. He's a fantastic realtor. When we got past an hour's commute to the Fort Lauderdale airport, I started looking for alternative airports. Up until that time, I hadn't really considered the Orlando International Airport. While on the road, though, I started researching the flights out of Orlando. I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was a better airport than Fort Lauderdale to the locations that we were planning to fly to. Of course, with all the theme parks and cruise ships out of Port Canaveral, it's a worldwide destination. There's a direct flight to Medellin Colombia that's only 3.5 hours long. We drive to the airport in the morning. We arrive in time for lunch. We went to Colombia 3 times in 2021. Super cheap, super fast, and super convenient. So while we were driving north on the east coast of Florida, I simply drew a straight line to the closest beach across from Orlando International. That just happens to be where Cape Canaveral is. Cape Canaveral is only 45 minutes to the airport. So we made our way up to the area. It's called the Space Coast. We drove all around Brevard County, Titusville, made famous by NASA, Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach, Port Canaveral, and Cape Canaveral, Melbourne, Palm Bay. We got to watch an Atlas V launch while we were in Cocoa Village. So we made arrangements to stay at an RV park on the mainland close to Titusville. When we got there, it was closed due to COVID. Sometimes things were just meant to be, though. One day soon after, we were driving down A1A in Cape Canaveral, and we called on an RV park sign. They had an opening at the end of the month, and we took it. It was way better than I had ever expected. We had lucked into a park during COVID that was located directly on the Banana River and just 8 blocks to the beach. 45 minutes to the best airport in the country, Port Canaveral just down the road, and we got to watch SpaceX launches all the time. We just love it here. It's safe and it's well located. We walk on the beach for an hour each day for exercise. We really have come to enjoy living in a motorhome at a beautiful RV park in Cape Canaveral. Hey everybody, this is Robert Merrick. I'm a real estate broker on the Space Coast of Florida.
This is Joanna Mary. I am a real estate agent too.
Habla español?
Sí, señor.
If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and what it's like in Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach, make sure you tap that subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. We're getting phone calls, emails, texts every single day, and we love it. If you're thinking about moving anywhere on the coast outside of Orlando, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to the Space Coast. We're in no hurry to purchase a piece of property now, but we are looking. It's just the two of us with no kids or pets in a 36-foot Class A motorhome. It's more than enough room for us now. A home or a duplex is what we're currently looking for. Since we are happy where we are, we can wait for the perfect opportunity. The only problem is that the homes are going up really fast in value. We have been looking at all the areas on the Space Coast for real estate opportunities. There is a severe shortage of properties for sale. Today we saw a beautiful oceanfront condo in Cocoa Beach that will be listed in a few days. The asking price is going to be around $800,000. Joanna found a manufactured home for $110,000 in Titusville. We looked at a beautiful $4 million home in Rockledge that's been on the market for quite a while. The point is that there's a wide variety of homes here. Joanna earned her real estate license last year, and I'm a mortgage loan officer with Nexa Mortgage. In late 2020, I was super fortunate to get a job as a remote loan officer. It was perfect for me, no commute, and I was able to work from anywhere. All I had to do was answer the phone and help people save thousands on their mortgage payments. I did 126 loans last year. Nexa Mortgage is approved with more than 150 different lenders. If you need a real estate loan, I can help. Every type of loan from refinancing, flip and fix, jumbo loans. If you're getting a loan now, let me know. I bet I can offer you a better rate and close you faster. There are a bunch of high-paying jobs here on the Space Coast. Many more are coming to the area. I'm super excited that Terran Orbital is coming here. Terran Orbital is the largest independently owned manufacturer of small satellites in the United States. If you want to move here, give us a call. We can talk with you about RV life, boat life, rentals in the area, and if you want to buy a home, we've got you covered. That's all for now. Our next video will cover the negatives of moving to the Space Coast. Have a good one.